On this episode of VacconJohn Unplugged, I sat down with Joseph Blackman, founder of Vitendo Training Solutions. We talked about social media, customer training, and why video plays such a big role in this industry. Let's get into it.
Some of the stories we can't tell.
You don't get a second chance to make a good first impression.
Now I actually
Now you know me.
Now I know you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at the Tri-State Show, and I'm with Joseph Blackman with Vitendo Training Solutions.
There you go.
I've been talking with you on LinkedIn a lot. We did a podcast on the Public Works podcast,
Yep.
And it's been great to be able to meet you in person and sit down with you here.
For sure, man. It's like, you have the people that are doing the similar same thing that you're doing online. It's like we automatically just like connect, and I'm like, I gotta meet this person in real life. So when I knew you're gonna be here, or when I saw your content on LinkedIn, of course, I'm like, hey, I gotta make a beeline to go see VacconJohn. Now we're here.
That's awesome, man. Going on the Public Works podcast was awesome. Just a little background for people. The Public Works podcast is great for learning everything in the industry. Because you really, the nice thing about it is you don't have to hyper focus on anything.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of guys that are dealing with water shortages or, wastewater issues as far as treatment goes. Guys with vac trucks or you guys that are really doing anything with any type of equipment. I tend to tone in on those episodes because that's my niche.
People cherry pick through them, and I'm cool with it.
Dude, it's and it's awesome too because you do a lot of clips on LinkedIn where you kind of get a snippet and be like, I gotta listen to this whole thing. Which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean that was when I first got into the industry. I had a sales mobile and I had kind of a book of business to work out of. And just like any other salesman, you're like, well, who are the people that I'm trying to sell to? Like, who are the people that I need to get to know? And what are they about? What makes them tick? And there was nothing out there cohesive anywhere online that I could find a place in my own time to listen to who I was trying to become, buddies with, to be able to sell to. Like, let's be honest, to sell a truck to. And so that's where I said, well, I got to be the guy that creates this. And so, of course, everybody laughed at me like, oh, nobody's going to listen to a podcast. And you get out there and knock on more doors. That's how you make more sales. And I'm like, I get all that. I get it. But if we start a podcast to serve a purpose of meeting people, because it's easier to talk to somebody about their self than to talk to them about what you're trying to sell them.
Oh yeah.
And how do you develop relationships? You become interested to become interesting. So if I'm interested in you, I'm automatically interesting to you, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so when I started the show, it was one of those, like, I knew some people in the industry, and I wanted to highlight the person behind the position. I got tired of all these associations. They talk about, like, it could be a truck or a process or like the new nano bubbles or whatever. And that stuff is cool, but nobody outside of the industry knows about that. That person who's being interviewed about nano bubbles wants to tell his personal community how long he's been in the industry, what he's been doing in the industry, how he made his way. And that's what the Public Works podcast serves, is an outlet for somebody who's been in the industry for 30 years or 3 months, to tell everybody how they got into it. And it serves the purpose of being able to listen to the nomenclature, the verbiage, the acronyms, all these acronyms in the industry. And now we can learn from it, and now we can use that to whether it's sales or it's just you want to learn about the industry.
Well, it's funny too, like, I got a couple things, but the acronym side's like PFAS. What the heck is PFAS?
I still can't
say
say
these trade shows, and I'm like, what is? But then I listen to people on the show, and it makes sense. So with the Public Works podcast and kind of what you've been doing with it, what have you learned along the way that has helped you out as far as, like, I know that there's a lot of like social media tweaks and things where you can get into the weeds on that, but I know you've learned stuff from all these people that come on where your knowledge has just grown huge.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't bring up, well, the one thing I'll bring up is it kind of echoes football. Like, there's X's and O's, and there's Jims and Joes. So X's and O's means like the processes, the playbook, like how things are done. The Jims and Joes is the people in the industry. when I ask the question, I ask everybody the same questions, and one of the questions I ask is, what's the main skill set somebody should get good at to be successful at what that person currently does? And I would say 8 out of 10 of those answers are communication. Learning how to deal with people, small talk, just like certain ways to, whether you're going to city council at 8 p.m. tonight to get, funding for your guy's new vac truck for their VacCon, or if they have to go, to talk to an irate customer because you're doing construction outside of their home, like you have to have those soft skills and those communication skills to get that across. So now it's like, of course, when you get in the industry, you think like, oh, I need to learn these trucks. I need to learn how the water pump and the PSI and the GPM and all this. Like, oh, I got to learn the VacCon. Like, no, salesman, learn people.
Yep.
Learn how to be cool and just chill out and like be a good guy that answers his phone and delivers on what he's supposed to deliver.
The product knowledge is, as far as the sales, product knowledge is a small piece of that. But people think that's 90% of the job.
Right?
It's not. It's a small piece of what these guys are doing, which is huge. And then, one of the main reasons I want to sit down with you and talk, and we talked a little bit about it when I was on your show.
Yeah.
But one thing I think about is you have a podcast, I have a podcast, and I always talk to guys about create your own stuff. Like, try to create your own stuff.
Yes.
We are not competing against one another for podcast space.
No.
It's just like you think about comedians in the space.
Yeah.
They're always going on each other's stuff.
Yep.
There should be we're in a small niche industry, right?
Which is good.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we should be starving for all this knowledge. This tribal. I always think that it's tribal knowledge. These people are starting their job, learning this tribal knowledge, retiring with it, and it goes away. It goes away.
Yeah.
So we get this stuff down in the books.
Yeah.
The more of us doing this, the better for the industry.
Yeah, that tribal knowledge, that institutionalized knowledge is why I started Vitendo, and we'll talk about that in a second. But going back to what you said of like competition, like you and I aren't competing.
No.
There's 4,500 people at this conference right now. Just imagine if 4,500 people shot 2 videos. One a selfie video, hey, I'm at Tri-State, everybody. At Tri-State, we talk about this and that. I'm looking to learn this and that. And they shot another video where they just walk through or like, talk to their buddy about, whether, PFAS or whatever topic. And they posted those on their personal Facebook and their personal LinkedIn page. Do you know what that would do for our industry just from this event? Like how many more eyeballs, how many more ears, how many more people will go, oh, that's what Hector does, that's what John does, that's what Joseph does, and they'll go, okay, well now I need to slow down in the cone zone because I know Hector does the wastewater and takes the water from our house and makes sure when we flush our toilet, it actually leaves.
You're giving people that don't understand or not even don't understand, they don't interact with our business
don't
at all.
Even care to interact.
But then you're giving them the insight to where, all right, I understand a little bit of this. It's a cool thing to have those views, right? Views is a big thing, but
I try not to get hung up on it, but it's hard, dude.
It is hard.
It
is hard. But on top, like, we talk about the tribal knowledge side of things. In reality, what I really want to do on the podcast side, I make the videos because I'm a sales guy, right? And I want to go out there and I want to help my salespeople and I want to help sell trucks.
Sure.
But the podcast side of things, what I really think of the podcast setting as, it's like a time capsule almost. So
it immortalizes.
The guys that founded VacCon dealerships, the guys that have been operating trucks for 25 years, those are the guys I'm trying to talk to.
This episode is brought to you by VacCon. Since 1986, the mission of VacCon has been to support, design, and manufacture innovative vacuum and high-pressure water cleaning solutions that deliver superior performance in municipal, industrial, and utility markets worldwide through their global dealer network. Today, their family of products include combination machines, industrial vacuum loaders, jetters, and hydro excavators that are used in an array of diverse applications by companies in the construction, oil and gas, mining, safety, and environmental industries. These machines are equipped to handle the toughest of jobs in the harshest of conditions. No matter the industry, VacCon's world-class industrial vacuum trucks and trailers are guaranteed to save you time, money, and effort. To learn more or to find your local dealer, visit VacCon online at www.vac-con.com.
And somebody like you founding your own business and starting this Vitendo, it's somebody where like, okay, you're going to keep doing this and retiring. once you retire, it's like, all right, who else is doing something like that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what you try to capture.
No, I mean, I would sell, and again, I sold vac doors, which is, we won't talk about that, but I sold trucks to cities, and I would train them up on everything. And one thing I noticed when I was out on my sales path was that a lot of the guys I was talking to were staring at retirement. They're counting down the days. Like, they know it's 422 days till I get to retire. And, like, he's the guy, like you said, he's been there for 30 years. Like, he knows everything. He knows where that manhole is on ABC 123 Street that nobody else knows. He knows how many times to exercise a valve before it cracks. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, all that institutionalized, that tribal knowledge that you can't hack. You can't hack it. You have to learn it. But I realized that, like, there's got to be a way to capture this. Mm-hmm. And so I started shooting myself on video, kind of like you do with the truck, doing the walk-arounds. Like, hey, a guy would ask me a question. Hey, man, my water pump is making this noise. What should I do? Like, well, have you checked these filters? I'm shooting myself on video. Like, hey, have you checked these filters? And I texted to the guy. He's like, oh, this is cool. Give me the answer to this question. Give me the answer to that question. Hey, my tech has a question on this. Can you give me a video? And I started texting to the supervisors, and they liked it. And I'm like, okay, there's a there. And so I started a whole service around that. I go from city to city, and I capture all that institutionalized knowledge to keep it in-house. Because how crazy is to let 30 years of expertise just walk out of your department, and now you got young Timmy and young Tommy, and they're like, I came from doing Jamba Juice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. I don't know sewer. And, like, if you could just show them what old Billy knew, like, young Tommy will go, okay, now I'm confident enough to at least try to ask the right questions after looking at this content.
Well, and the important thing there, too, which a lot of, I do things a certain way, which is similar to the way you do things. But I want to train the guys on their truck, on their yard, with the equipment that they're going to be running. Where a lot of companies look at it and be like, hey, this truck's just like yours. It was shot 2 years ago, and I'm going to train you how to run that truck because it's very similar. But it's like, there's some things that are different on this truck where it's not exactly right. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the male ego. Like, let's be honest. Like, men and women too, but men, most of the time, we'll see a video and we'll go, he's doing it wrong. Like, he's like, whether it's football, all that cornerback should get lower in his break. Or if it's like wrenching on something, like, he should take the hose off to get to it easier. And it's like, really? Like, I'm pretty sure he's getting the job done. And but like you're talking about the custom aspect, is that people want to see their piece of equipment. Yes. Like, if you got a 1998 Honda Civic 3-door, you want to see a video on a 1998 Honda Civic 3-door, not the 99, because they might have switched a couple things. The panel might have to like, you want to see your piece of equipment. That's where, like, the custom aspect comes in. They get to see their piece of equipment with their guys in their dirt and water, versus a manufactured video where it's like, it's a guy in Boston talking like he talks from Boston, and the guys in New Mexico are like, we don't care. That's exactly like my whole philosophy on it. It's like, we build the custom trucks for everybody, but I want to train them, because since it's custom, I got to train them on their truck. It's custom, right? So I do the whole GoPro setup and be like, boom, here you go. It makes things a little bit more refreshing. And my hope is that more guys in the industry, obviously I wish and I hope that it's a lot more VacconJohn dealers than it, but I hope that guys in the industry kind of look at this stuff and be like, it's not that hard to do. It's
conceptually, it's hard. It's hard to think around it, but it's not hard to execute on. Like, again, we got GoPros here. I like all these conference videos. I shoot with an iPhone. iPhones are pretty darn good at shooting video. If you got a Galaxy or iPhone in your pocket, you can shoot your walk around, whether you're a pump salesman, whether you're selling whatever. Like, if you can shoot that video and deliver it to the customer, and guess what now? That customer will love you long time, because that video will last as long as that pump, or that VacconJohn's last 10 to 15 years. Just imagine your face on the VacconJohn for 10 or 15 years from now. You're in Tahiti with the family, retired because you made billions of dollars doing content VacconJohn, but that video will live on forever. And it's the same thing. Like, again, like, of course I wish everybody would hire me to shoot their training content. Like, I'm selfish that way. But again, I will say, if everybody got their phone out and recorded their walk around, recorded that pump training, recorded that whatever, and sent it to the customer, they could put it in their C drive and just have it forever. Like, come on now.
Well, and I don't know if you've really gotten into this with Vitendo or anything, but have you ever thought about, like, training somebody on how to be the trainer? like, because it's almost like that's an industry in itself too. It's like, dude, if you do it this way, so you guys run sweepers, you run back trucks, you run loaders, you run all dozers, or whatever it is, you run all this stuff. all right, I don't know how to run all those pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
But I know how to teach you how to hit the high points, and if you talk to the main operator, put a microphone on them, you should be able to figure out a game plan on how to run that thing, right?
Right.
It's like almost like it's almost another industry in itself trying to train that. But
no, you're right. Like the whole capturing of training, like in every industry we're dealing with that, because every industry is dealing with that baby boomer Gen X, they're leaving the industry, and that was a generation where they believed like sticking in the industry for 30 years was like good, or with the same company for 30 years was good, which I'm not against it, but I understand like you got to be loyal to your last name and not necessarily the company that you work for, because the company's going to be loyal to the company and not necessarily your last name. That's a whole other conversation. But when you can approach it as if like, hey, I am so-and-so and I can get my training recorded, it will last for that life of the piece of equipment, like that automatically does so much for you, your brand, and who you are.
Well, and you mentioned something that's huge, the baby boomer stuff, Gen X stuff. Like the other big thing, you see the other trucks that are at the show, you see a lot more electronics, you see a lot more stuff, but you also think about industry-wide, this shift that's happening. Who's retiring, who's taking over for them. These people, when they research something, we talked about this on Public Works podcast, when they research something, they're looking for video. They want to watch something.
They're not reading.
No. And they don't necessarily, operators or owners' manuals are still important, but they don't necessarily want to research something they're purchasing or something that they're maintaining on literature. They want to see it, right? And I do that. Dude, if I'm buying something, I'm going to YouTube.
How many YouTube videos do you watch before you make a purchase? Probably 3 or 4 on average. Like, and that's low for some people. Like I do my talking around the country, and I ask guys like, okay, before you buy a new truck, you probably watch 10 YouTube videos of the interior, the bed, like how to operate this, how to look, because you're learning to make a decision on whether you're going to buy or not. Just imagine if you owned it and you need to maintain it, like the amount of content that you could watch in order to maintain it correctly. And like I can't stand how like they, I walk into an office and I see a binder on somebody's desk. It's covered in 2 inches of dust, and it's this SOP manual. And like the office is always locked, so nobody can access it. But you want guys to operate efficiently, do more with less, because we all know they're under budgeted, underfunded. And it's like a video on a QR code in that lift station, a youngster can scan and know exactly how to turn off that 440 power to be able to look at some pumps or pull apart, whatever he needs to do, and then get right back to work. Like that's gold in regards, instead of having to call a supervisor and hear 20 war stories. And,
it's like a cheat sheet, really. And that's what a lot of these guys are smart enough to figure out the game plan. They need that little cheat sheet to help them across the finish line. I feel like that's kind of like our whole thing is like, I don't know exactly how old you are, but you're in the
38.
Same, you're in the same kind of frame where I'm at, where I like didn't grow up with all this stuff, but then learned it as I was going. So it's like, I see where this is going. I've got to figure it out, or I'm going to be behind. I don't want to be behind on that stuff. So it's been, but the other thing is like, I love watching YouTube videos too. So I love watching, because like I take it to another level. Like I'm researching what I'm buying, but then before it shows up in my house, I've already watched how to run it. So then like I open it up, I'm like boom, boom, boom. So it's like.
But wouldn't it be cool if in that box when you open it, there's a QR code in and it shows you all the stuff you needed to see on it? Like you're selling a $500,000 truck. Why doesn't that truck come with the? You know what I'm saying? Like
you got to have that stuff, right? That's something with. I think the industry is heading that way. I really do, and I don't think there's any choice in it. I think with the customers demanding that, they are at this point. So we're all headed that way. I think it's a cool thing to see that shift happen, and I love that we're in the mix. We're in the mix,
it's one of those things when the tide comes in, the tide goes out. Like we'll be standing there, like, dude, we've been here. Come on. We've been on the train. Get on the train. We're here. So.
No, man. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on.
For sure.
VacconJohn Unplugged. I don't do this stuff a lot because I don't travel with all this stuff all the time. But I do the quick clips. But I really appreciate you having me on Public Works podcast. That was great, man. I had a good time. Learned a lot from you doing it. And I know we'll have a good relationship going forward. Give us a little shameless plug here. So I know we mentioned stuff.
The same concept. if you want that training, that institutionalized knowledge, the best practices captured for the perpetuity of your equipment, just call me. Even if you don't do business with me, just call me. I can talk you through it. I think most people know my energy and attitude. Like, I'm willing to give you the goods, even if I don't benefit from it, because I know altruistically it will come back, you know, so I'm okay with that. So if you're having issues with training, you got turnover, you're sick and tired of guys who leave your utility, and you got to call them back because they're the only ones that knew that knowledge. Like, there's ways to get an old curmudgeon to like let go of the goods before he leaves your.
You got that technique of softening that blow, but hey man, I need to learn this from you so that I can teach this from you.
Totally. You got to get your knee pads out a little bit, but usually you get them opened up, man.
So somebody's interested in getting a hold of you. LinkedIn the best?
LinkedIn is the best way to find me. The website is vitendo.us, V as in Victor, ITENDO.us. Hit me up on LinkedIn. And if there's anybody on the public side, maybe you're not in a purchasing, like, decision-making position, I want to get you on the podcast. Like, I need more operators on the podcast. I need more guys who are out there doing their thing in the yellow, orange shirts, you know, to hop on the podcast. I got way too many directors, way too many VacconJohns. Like, I need more of the operators.
Those guys that are running the equipment.
Totally.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it. And look forward to doing this again sometime soon.
Yeah, man. We'll catch you at the next big event, probably.
Thanks again, Joseph.
All right, man. Yep.